It is my extreme pleasure to introduce Scott Polhill. We were chatting just a little while ago before, as everybody was starting to arrive. Scott has a fascinating history. He's been a Kambo practitioner for a decade, over a decade, and has helped thousands of people do cleanse through using Kambo. And he's also traveled extensively in the Amazon rainforest and worked with multiple indigenous tribes, learning his craft, and is also a Chinese medicine and Qigong teacher. And I believe that he's going to lead us in a Qigong breathing exercise. So I'd like everybody to give a really warm welcome to Scott. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you, everybody. I'm excited to be here. It's a beautiful way to start this 2026 off like that in a good way. And I look forward to getting to know all of you as well. So thank you for this opportunity. And, I'll get into who I am when I do the slides more so like that. And so are we good to go with the breath right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you all would like to close your eyes here. And so Qigong is the cultivation of life force energy over time. And there's many different forms to it. And this is more of like a Neigong. So this is going to be a seated, more of a meditation breathing practice. And so here, if you'd like to have your eyes closed, I'll invite you just to take a few deep breaths. Really focusing on breathing into the belly. And then while doing so, I'll invite you to just tune into your mind. Tune into how your thoughts are at this very moment. And how they have been recently. And then like that, bringing your awareness down to your heart. Tuning into the heart, your energy, and your emotions. Recently, with all the holidays and everything we just went through, how has that been? And then bringing your awareness into the body. Do you have any aches and pains at this moment? Has your body been screaming out to you at all? So whatever it feels like, whatever you're noticing, just accepting it, being aware. And from here, I'll invite you to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Then exhale with a ha. Perfect. We'll do 3 more of those, breathing nice and deep. Breathing in. Letting go of stress and anxiety. And then 1 more. And like that, I'll invite you to imagine your feet growing tree roots, spiraling deep into the earth. See them spiral, digging into the earth, reaching the core. And then from here, taking a breath in, seeing this golden light start to spiral up and into your feet. Then once again, breathing in this golden chi up the tree roots, up your feet, up into the belly. And then exhaling, releasing back into the earth. And then another deep inhale, bringing this golden chi up these tree roots all the way to the heart. Now I'll invite you to imagine coming out of your crown, there's this pillar of light reaching all the way up into the heavens. Like the heavens are shining this light down into your crown. And for the next few deep breaths, I'll invite you to see this beautiful golden chi shining down upon you, coming into your head. Nice and deep belly breaths. Filling yourself up with this golden chi. Feeling it move through the entire upper body, and then reaching the heart. And from here, I'll invite you to bring your awareness to that heart and see this golden fire shimmering and shining. And take a nice deep inhale. As you exhale, the heart expands in every direction. Breathing in the golden light from the earth and the heavens. And expanding that gold heart out all around us. And once more, nice deep inhale. And expanding to this room, filling ourselves with this beautiful fire, this golden chi, this love and joy and passion and gratitude. Like that, I'm grateful for all of you for taking a few moments to breathe with me. Thank you. So feeling free to stay in that beautiful chi essence. The heart is the fire. It really contains that gratitude, love, and joy. And it is my gratitude and joy to be explaining, sharing about Kambo with y'all today. And so who here has heard of Kambo? Have most of you heard of it? Cool. Awesome. Great. And those that haven't, this is a beautiful opportunity for you to learn as well. And so this is the giant monkey tree frog. That is the Kambo frog. And that is also the molecule of all the different peptides. And yeah, this beautiful frog has helped me change my life in so many ways. And I look forward to getting into more about it with you. And we'll start off just by me, just really quick. As we said, my name is Scott Polhill, and I am a medicine carrier, Kambo practitioner for about 10 years, and definitely have served thousands of people. Very grateful for having done this work for as long as I have and continuing to see so many people in my life. And I work with a couple other medicines as well. And the Kambo is definitely my main one, my go-to multiple times a week for the most part. And I am a medical Qigong practitioner, and I do medical Qigong treatments. I do energy healings, and I run retreats, breath work, anything that really has to do with traditional Chinese medicine. And, a few of my teachers are the Matses from Peru, the Yawanawa from Brazil, and David Beaudry at Noble Movement Academy, and Rudy Sochipili Now You Meet. And, last but not least, I am a father and a husband and a musician. And so I look forward to sharing this all with you. And one good way I put it, I'm a practitioner, teacher who works with medical Qigong, breath work, and Indigenous ceremonies and traditions to help people reclaim their nervous system, reconnect to their bodies, and build a steady foundation for healing and growth. And so look forward to getting into this journey with you. And so from here, what is Kambo? So a lot of you have heard about what Kambo is, and this is the frog once again, many beautiful pictures. And Kambo is a secretion, a medicine derived from the giant monkey tree frog, scientifically known as the Philomedusa bicolor. And many tribes in the greater Amazon have been working with this frog for centuries. And its secretion and the frogs are often called Kambo, as you might know, Akate, Sapo, Dauket, and Kampu, and probably other names as well too. And so Kambo has a very complex peptide chain that contains 9+ peptides. The 9 ones are the ones that are more well known for many years now, and they're still doing research on like 5 and probably many more as well. And so, they work with the human body. And so it enters through the lymphatic system and begins to cleanse the body at a cellular level. And so one of the beautiful things about Kambo is this process that you go through during it. It really is a deep physical, energetic, emotional, and spiritual cleanse. It works on so many different levels, and it really primarily works with the liver and the gallbladder to really cleanse us of all the different toxins from drugs, pharmaceuticals, daily life, especially in the West, and so much more. And it really can help connect you to your heart and to spirit in a beautiful way. And Kambo has been found to be one of nature's most powerful ways to boost the immune system. It's also an antimicrobial, antibiotic, anti-inflammatory. Some people would call it the jungle vaccine, or the vaccine of the jungle. So it's a very powerful, beautiful medicine. And this tribe, or many of the tribes, have used Kambo as a medicine to optimize their hunting abilities. So Kambo is a hunter's medicine when it comes like down to the main core of what it is. The tribes utilize this medicine for the hunts. You know, it can increase their speed, their strength, endurance, and their focus. And also it can give them sort of like visions of the hunt, where to go at the right time for the food. And I like to say, you know, we are all hunting different things. We might not be in the jungle, or more so in the concrete jungle, but we are hunting different things in our lives. And I've seen it time and time again that Kambo really can bring your subconscious and your conscious into alignment to allow you to manifest, or, you know, go after and really create what you want deepest in life. Like, it can really help you manifest these things, what we're after, what we're hunting. A lot of times it's health, could be love, could be more finances. I've seen it all and experienced it all myself as well too. And on top of that, children. You know, children definitely start popping up, especially once you start doing Kambo, if that's what you're looking for. Sometimes if it's not, it tends to happen. There's a lot of Kambo babies out there. And so they also use this medicine for malaria, snake bites, parasites, infections, and other illnesses. And one of the main things that I like to speak on is penema. And so similar between all different tribes, they use Kambo to clear this cloud of bad luck and bad energy or negativity, even like depression, the lack of focus, lack of motivation. And that's what they call penema. And they say that we all have this cloud of bad luck or penema hovering over us at different times of life. Sometimes it can be from our past lives. Sometimes it can be from our ancestors. Sometimes it can be from the decisions we've made in this life. And it can really affect everyone. And there's a huge rise in mental health at the moment, as a lot of us know. And Kambo can really help clear that cloud of penema. And I like to say it can also light the fire under you, you know, under your ass, to really get you to do those things that you know you need to be doing. And I see that time and time again with myself, and time again with so many other people. It really clears the path, opens up a path for us to take action. Because the beautiful thing too, this Kambo frog continuously crawls. It's a giant monkey tree frog. It's not like your little hopping tree frogs. It's quite big, and they're very gentle, and they just crawl. And I know a lot of people would say, like, I've heard it before, they just move forward. They don't like go backwards, and they don't have predators, but they do. But, you know, you get the gist of it for the most part. Like, things clear and open up in a beautiful way. And so that's penema. That's a big thing that the tribes work on and focus on. And I feel like that's very needed, and one of the things that really helped me in my life. And so the origin or the legend of Kambo, Chief Kampu. And so Chief Kampu was revered as a medicine man in his village. And this is according to the Matses and many other tribes. They all have a very similar origin story. And so this is the origin of Kambo, according to them. And so during the time, a mysterious illness struck the tribe. And even with their vast knowledge of medicinal plants, and herbs and shamanic practices and all, nothing could cure like the tribe. Nothing was able to actually help them overcome. And so, like they did back in the day, they, instead of everyone sort of drinking ayahuasca, how it's sort of now, like the tribes would go, you know, the medicine man or woman would go into the jungle and drink ayahuasca and get the wisdom like that for the patients or the people who needed it. And so like that, you know, turning to the spirit for guidance, went into a deep trance in the jungle with ayahuasca, and Kampu was connected to the spirits of the forest, and it directly showed him the specific frog, how to capture it, how to get the secretion, and how to make the application and give it to his people. And so that happened, and to everybody's surprise, the illness was overcome, cured. A lot of different ways to talk about it, but yeah, like it definitely helped heal or help the people heal themselves. And so that's the origin story. And you might find or notice, like, a lot of it tends to differ a little bit depending on what tribe and where, but that's one of the main ones. And I feel like that's a really good one for me as well, too. And so, like that, this is Kambo. This is the way that the Matses acquire the medicine and get the secretion. And I know it's a little scary when looking at it, that it's a big frog, but the frogs are not harmed in the process. They're tied up. I've been there and done it. It's the best way to receive the medicine fully, because if you're, holding the frog, it can tend to get a little more difficult. You can get the secretions on you. So they just, stress the frog out a little bit and then like stress it, sort of like self-myofascial release. It's just like you just got to like rub on it and then it fully releases the secretion. And then from there, it is put on these wooden sticks that you see up here and then dried and sent to practitioners all over the world, myself included, many others, even some in this room. And from there, you apply water, scrape it up, and then you also make small superficial burns, and usually with a tamishi vine, this little like stick. And you can see from the picture on the left, like you just make superficial burns on the skin, wipe it off, and then from there, you apply the medicine on top. And then everyone begins to go through the process. And so the process is different depending on each person, but usually only about 20-25 minutes. You drink a lot of water or like a yucca mixture. And then the beautiful part of it, you go through that process, you feel the heat rising, you feel the heart, you feel the pressure in the head. And then about 5 minutes, the gallbladder, the liver starts to release the bile and then into the stomach. And then from there, you usually purge. And you're purging all the toxins out. And that process isn't very long, like 20-25 minutes in total, and is actually very safe. And it's a very beautiful process so many people can go through. There's a lot of different things you can read up on about it. It is a little scary because it's categorized as a poison, which it is not a poison. Specifically when we put it on our skin in that way, all the peptides come in and communicate with the body to do specific things. And from there, that's where you get to see so many beautiful people happy going through this process, like really feeling the deep healing and cleansing effects of this medicine. And so like that, I've had the opportunity to work with so many people in my life and super grateful for it with this beautiful medicine. And I've seen so many people heal and transform. And just like we spoke about the origin story of Kambo, I thought it'd be a perfect time for me to speak about like my origin story as well. And, I definitely didn't just wake up one day and say like, hey, I want to serve Kambo. Like I definitely went through a whole process. I went through a whole process that even started back when I was 3. I had an injury that cut my foot off. They put me on morphine when they retapped my foot and all that. And then I grew up, and eventually when I was about like 16, started having a lot of pain in my foot. And then they gave me Oxycontin, and sort of how that goes. But then at the same time, I was struggling with meth, with cocaine. And that's when I started at the same time as well, getting into mushrooms and really working with mushrooms a lot. And basically all through high school, it was just meth and drugs and then mushrooms and getting myself clean and going through that whole battle of addiction. And then eventually I made it through it, and I had a few years getting back into what I loved, music, hip hop, martial arts, and really focusing on my studies. And around that time, I already started meditating, diving deep into a lot of different conspiracy theories or different things that are more well known now. And then I got into heroin. And then you know how that goes, usually. So that was another 8 years of my life that is sort of a blur. And then once I finally got clean and sober, facing a lot of time, like I was facing like 7 years in prison, a lot of different things going on. I finally got myself to get clean so I can go and serve my time. And then by the graces of God and a few other people that really helped me out, like Michael Beckwith from Agape and a few other people, when I went to South Central to heal, I got sober and I ended up not having to go serve time. I already did a good amount of that beforehand. And then from there, I ended up getting a job working at the entertainment industry, getting back into just living life sober for the first time really in my life. And I was starting to drink a little bit because that's sort of what people do in the entertainment industry and a lot more. and it started going down a whole pathway that I knew was not going to end well. And so from there, I sought out, and I'd like to say that ayahuasca found me. Started sitting with ayahuasca quite a bit, healing myself from a lot of trauma, a lot of different things I put in my body. And then from there, someone brought Kambo. And the only thing I saw on the email was the frog. I saw detox, throwing up, and I was like, cool, I'm in. And then I didn't even read it. I was like, I'm in. And then I did Kambo. It completely was very difficult for me. And I had a beautiful ayahuasca journey that night. The next morning, I was like, I need to do it again. Did it again. And then the medicine was very clear that I need to continue to work with this medicine to heal myself through all the things I went through and all the toxins I put on my body. And from there, I sat with it almost weekly. Like I started really sitting with it, healing myself and going through the process. It was not easy from all the things I was purging and clearing, though it was so needed. And then I would say, I think it was my 19th time where I did a very high amount of Kambo, which many people don't do. And like the person serving, who became my good friend, was sort of like, let's see how much you can handle, and gave it to me, and it completely floored me. It was a very deep ceremony. And then the next morning in my meditation, it was like, you really need to follow this path. And so I was resisting and fighting it. I told my friend, and he was like, yes, I knew that was going to happen, and I've been waiting for you. And so I started assisting with him for quite some time. And then that's when I got the message I need to go to the jungle. And so I basically gave deuces to my boss, who was a good friend and amazing person, for giving me that job. But I was like, I got to follow this passion. And I went down to the jungle. And that's when I started staying with the Yawanawa and working with them for some time. And then I started going back to Peru with the Matses and building the beautiful relationship there and continuing to heal myself. And that's sort of where it all started. Like for me, serving from that point on, and serving a lot of people, and getting into this process of sitting with other tribes, learning and getting into traditional Chinese medicine, and continuing to pass along this gift that it has given me, the gift of life and being sort of reborn is a good way to say. And yeah, that's my story. That's my story. And one thing I like to get into as well, you can see another picture of so many beautiful people. I always like to say that one of the best and biggest gifts that I received from serving this medicine and being able to lead so many people through this process is the friendships, the memories, the chance to see someone completely do a 180 and change their life, from being suicidal, from being an addict, to all different types of things you can think of, like from having cancer, going into remission. I've worked with people from AIDS, people from I have had really bad immune diseases. I've seen people heal themselves from Lyme's disease with Kambo, and obviously like lifestyle changes and other things like that too. And yeah, so many things. So that's so dear to my heart, like this work. And, I do like to say Kambo doesn't heal you or heal anything. It helps you heal yourself. It really brings your body, your energy, your spiritual mind and connection back into homeostasis, so you can begin to heal yourself. And that's why it's so powerful and so efficient at helping people change their lives. And one of the points of this entire talk was I spoke about prophecy. And so it was told to me by the Matses that there will come a time that Kambo medicine will travel far and wide. Will travel far and wide across the earth to help heal humanity and bring balance back to earth. And then, just like that, I heard another one from the Yawanawa tribe. And they spoke about times from back in the past that they had visions of stone people that would come on rivers of stone. And when their own children wanted to leave to the city, these stone people would come in and want to learn their ways. And they were 100% okay with that, to teach them their ways so the knowledge, the wisdom would spread far and wide and bring healing and balance to the earth and to humanity. And along with that too, you probably have heard of the Hopi people speaking about the cycles, the world ages that we're seeing. And they say that it's not an end, but a choice point. In this moment, there are two paths. The path is, a path of separation imbalance and disconnection from the earth. And then the other path is the path of life, balance, humility, and right relationship with all beings. And they also speak about the rainbow people, not being one race or one group of people, but people from all cultures who feel called to protect the earth, live with integrity, and remember ancient values in these modern times. And I definitely can get very deep into more of the prophecies and things like that, and the state of the world and the way things are going, and the importance of appropriation and appreciation and showing up, especially with someone who is white like myself, showing up and learning these ways, like learning in a good, like respectful way. And I found all of them open arms, like they see you if you're there with respect and they want to share their ways and their teachings. And, it's not like a race thing like that when it comes down to it. And still we see a lot of people doing things from, the ways of not the best way to do it. And so it definitely takes mindfulness and respect and love for Mother Earth and love for our brothers and sisters, all the relations like that. And it's very important to remember, especially when working with these medicines. And, I've been told life is a prayer and this medicine is a prayer. It's also a spirit. And you can connect very deeply to it and build a relationship with it, just like all the other medicines that we work with. And it can really help heal ourselves first, do the inner work, and then begin to help heal the world as well. And so I have more, but I think that's a good one. Right now, we can talk about the peptides and things like that. You can go much deeper into it. And I have more information on that. But yeah, that's I feel like it's good for right now. Thank you. Okay. We're going to sit right.
Thanks, Scott. That was fascinating. I have lots of questions, actually.
Yeah.
I got to be honest. Like I actually coming into this tonight knew not. I mean, of course, I've heard of Kambo, but I know nothing about it whatsoever. And I've had a lot of experience with different psychedelics, and I actually have a lot of experience with doing different cleanses and detoxes of different types. But I didn't really know what Kambo was until I had to come here and fill in for Hannah tonight, and then sat there and read about 15 minutes in my car.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd really like you to explain. So I'd like you to explain to me. I mean, I'd like you to explain to everybody, but I want you to explain to me. Explain about peptides. Like, I have a very visceral understanding of peptides, but I'd love to have a deeper understanding of peptides, how they affect our body and what they do for us.
Okay. Yeah.
And just talk about that for a couple minutes. Yeah.
Definitely. I definitely am not a scientist and I don't know everything. And I'll definitely be the first one to say that. And peptides are like a complex chain of amino acids, and they can come in to connect to your body and tell your body and communicate to do different things. And so I know peptides are all the rage. So I actually don't know very much about peptides in general. I can't go super deep into it, but I do know that these specific ones all do different things. So there's specific ones that can really help with the smooth muscle contraction. There's ones that communicate with the body to release the bile. There is one that can really communicate with like the hypothalamus to regulate our body's temperature to be able to withstand, cold and hot, and many other things as well too. So I don't know how to go super deep into exactly what peptides are in general. I would invite all of you to do so as well.
That was perfect.
But, yeah, cool.
That was a perfect explanation. So it is the peptides and the peptide combination that exists in the Kambo that is doing the actual work inside your body to get this done. Do you understand? Because I'm curious about. Do you understand? Well, so there are amino acids. Proteins are combinations of amino acids. Do you understand what differentiates these from the amino acids that would make a protein in our body, or are they the same thing?
I actually do not know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wes knows. Something that you talked about, and you skipped right over it at the beginning of your talk, and this is, and maybe I'll put you on the spot about this. I'm sorry if I do.
No, it's fine.
But I really want to know about your journey being a father. And specifically, to tie it into this, I really want to know about what is it about your experience doing Kambo that has made you a better father?
See, that one I can't speak on better. And so I have a lovely 14-year-old daughter, and I have a 2-year-old son. And so my daughter came from sort of that journey that I spoke about earlier. And, through that, when I started working with these medicines, it really allowed me to connect to myself more, to be more present with her and see, just the importance of parents in children's lives and to be there in the best way possible. And just really like the presence. Like for me, like working with this medicine and all the other medicines I've worked with have really helped me be more present, be on their level, getting on their level and sharing like the beautiful, priceless time together. And on top of that, like taking action, learning how to move from the feminine energy and the masculine energy when it's needed. To be there, to be a best friend, to listen, to speak and have good communication, but also know when it's time to take action in life, to be that protector, for my wife, for women, for children, for my children, and just to show up and make sure that everything's taken care of. So really to show up in a good way like that.
Yeah. What a great answer. You sound like a great dad.
Thank you.
I have a 14-year-old daughter too.
Oh, awesome.
Coincidentally, yeah. That was such a clear answer, and it was almost prepackaged. Like you just had that little piece of wisdom right there, just like that. You just control that nugget so completely. And that was such a wise answer. Like that came from such a deep place inside you. So my next question really is, I want to talk about clarity. And it's like I took some notes while you were talking on my phone. So sorry for looking at my phone.
Yeah.
So you talked about like the warriors from the tribe, like doing Kambo before going out on the hunt, and them having kind of like vision, a clarity of vision. And so like I want you to talk in your own life on a really personal level of like your clarity of vision. You clearly have a vision and a purpose in your life that you're working towards. So what about the Kambo helps you achieve that? And what is it that you're hunting now in your life?
That's a great question. Yeah, thank you. So the clarity and the vision that I have in my life is definitely, just to continue to be of service, to be there for my children and be there for my community, for, everyone in my life, for everyone that I serve, to help them become the best versions of themselves, not to follow me like a guru or anything like that, but allow me to assist them to find their own inner guru, their own inner power and connection like that. And to just continue to assist in people connecting to source, connecting to the Most High, connecting to God, their higher power, along with that. And then for myself, another one is just to continue to be in the mode of creation. Like I feel like you're either like a consumer or a creator. And I think like for myself, when I'm more into the consuming, that's when I start to have more issues and troubles in life. And when I'm creating, I feel like that's when I'm closest to Most High, when I'm closest to Creator and I'm creating. And so in my life, I am envisioning and creating more creation, to be more into my creation aspect of music, of bringing people together, creating beautiful events, creating experiences that can really tap people into their body, tap them into their connection with Mother Earth, and tapping them into their connection with spirit, with source like that. And Kambo has definitely helped me by allowing me to stay focused. Kambo has this beautiful way of clearing that panema, like I spoke about earlier. Like, I really believe that we can get that from any instance of life. Like, life happens, things happen, and we can tend to lean more into specific foods that might not be the greatest, and specific, addictions or things that maybe aren't the best for us. And then we can get into more doubt and, things like that, a spiral. And so Kambo can really help clear that and let you see like from the bigger picture again, see from a bird's eye view and know what action you need to take. And so for myself, it helps me know what actions to take for the most part to, be able to show up for the people that I'm serving, be able to take care of my body and eat the right foods, because Kambo is so good at connecting us back to our body and back to like our gut biome and the communication. And then from there, it really helps me, just be present. Like for me, it's very much like a monk type of medicine. I always think of like samurais when I think of warriors. And so it really connects me back into that like samurai, like warrior essence, to where I can be with everything that's happening, even if it's not the best, I can still just be with it. And then I could be present with my children and my wife and everyone that I work with, wherever they're at in life. And so I hope that answers your question well.
Yeah, more than answered it. That was beautiful. You have such a way with words. Can you take all this and can you direct? Because when I walked in and I talked to you before we started, and you were clear about like Kambo isn't really a psychedelic.
Mm-hmm.
So can you take all this like that you've been talking about and your experience, the clarity that you've got, the warrior vision, can you relate that back to psychedelics for me?
Mm-hmm.
Relate that back to your experience with psychedelics and maybe give me a glimpse of how, a deeper glimpse, because you gave a little one during your talk, a deeper glimpse of how this is an outgrowth of your psychedelic experience.
Yes. So once again, great question. I love it. And for myself, like, yes, like I don't think I spoke on it earlier, but Kambo is non-psychoactive. It is not technically a psychedelic. It is very physical and, works through all the different parts that I spoke about, very physical. And I like to say, when people come with that science mind of just wanting to, do the work, I say like spirituality, like the connection is like a byproduct of it. And for myself, like the psychedelics have completely changed my life. I feel like I am here by the graces of God and by the graces of the medicines, psychedelics. Like the mushrooms helped me through so much when I was younger, and still to this day, the ayahuasca, Kambo, peyote, like the bufo, all those medicines have helped me tremendously. And I feel like each one has definitely helped me with a different aspect of myself and my healing and growth, though it's definitely helped me with shadow work, helped me look at my past and the way I grew up and the way I reacted to things and maybe the people that I hurt and the people that hurt me. Like it really allowed me to zoom out and see all of that and work with my own inner growth, to work with those shadows, to become a better person, a better father, a better leader, a better student, a better teacher, a better husband. And the psychedelic medicines have helped me tremendously with that. And 100%, I would put Kambo in that same realm. Like it definitely helps you do the work. Like nothing's going to do the work for you. It helps you do the work and get through and make it through whatever obstacle is in front of you and grow, in a good way. And one of my teachers would always say, if you come to a ceremony or come to a teepee, like you're gonna leave a better person. And if you don't, you disrespected the grandmothers. As like a joke, like it's true. And it's up to us. And 100%, I can say every single person that's come has left better, because it might not feel like that at the moment. It's not always what you want. Sometimes the medicines give you what you need and not what you want. And yes, all the psychedelics, the Kambo as well, can be a tough ride sometimes. But like it is so worth it, because nothing worthwhile is easy, and it's like we have to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And Kambo 100% does that. And so do all the other medicines, as you know from your experience. You can have those moments.
So what you're talking about, I mean, okay, so on a physical level, it's like you're talking about detox. We all live in this toxic environment.
Mm-hmm.
And we're breathing, like you drive down the street and you're breathing the heavy metals into your lungs.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So there's a lot of stuff on a physical level that we are needing to detox from, right? So it's an incredible tool to do that. But what you're really talking about is like deep shadow work. It's like detoxing from the trauma in our life, from our self-imposed trauma, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And how I mean, that's incredibly needed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that like isn't necessarily easy to access.
Mm-hmm.
So to have a tool like this to access that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about your work bringing this to other people, and the experiences that you've had, seeing them detox from the trauma they've had in their life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely the trauma and the physical things as well too. It's honestly all wrapped up together. And especially when people come to me with wanting to heal from physical ailments, like you have to go into what you're speaking about. You have to go into the psychosomatic, the trauma, the things that are there, because especially in traditional Chinese medicine, things start with energy and emotions, and then they become physical. And so myself, I've seen multiple people, and even as of recently, like have very deep addictions, deep addiction with alcohol and drugs. And Kambo has helped them clear the toxins out to a point where they were able to remember what it felt like to feel good. Like Kambo gives you this like few days to a week of like this beautiful clarity, and like it can really help reset the dopamine and so many things in our brain, and it can allow you to feel good again. And so when people have an opportunity to feel that again, they remember like what it feels like, and they've realized they've been distracting themselves and taking themselves away from that for so long. And so Kambo has given them the opportunity to do so and look into their past, see all the people they've hurt, all the things they've gone through, and get into a state of prayer and release it, and a state of gratitude, and then come to a point where they no longer need the alcohol or the drugs. And I've seen that with medications, with depression. A lot of people, and specifically like a friend recently that was suicidal and had a lot of trauma and was on medications at one time and then didn't want to do it again. Though really dealing with this feeling of not wanting to be here, no longer. And like knowing that, yeah, like I'm not going to make the decision and take myself out, but it was constantly there. And with Kambo and with these other medicines, like giving them opportunity to feel that gratitude, feel the gratitude for being here on this earth and for having this human body, and the drive to want to live and want to start setting goals for themselves. And so that's definitely one of many. And like I said earlier, I know, excuse me, I know many Kambo babies. And so I have had a friend who had children and then was told that she wasn't able to have children anymore. And she started sitting with Kambo. And through that, sitting with Kambo multiple times, her specifically, it was many, maybe like, 12 or so. And then boom, she had a baby. And then another baby. And then like through that, and that happens quite often. And one thing that I'll also mention is knowing a friend that had quite a few. I've had AIDS and HIV, and seeing specifically a couple come into me, and we were working with them quite often. We were doing Kambo and ozone, but primarily it was Kambo, and seeing him and his partner later take test results. And the test results completely shot up, like doubled their white blood cell count. The viral count went down. And interesting enough, one we found out had AIDS and the other had HIV when they began. And then the one that had AIDS, lower numbers and like a worse case, eventually was above, like had better results. And he was the one, not the partner, the one that did ayahuasca. And so like I said earlier, it's all mixed up. Everything is emotional. And so he got to sit with the medicine and go deep into the past, into the traumas, and release those things and work through those type of emotions and those type of traumas. And it gave way to the physical healing as well. And so there's many, along all those different lines, many different people, like I said, that have overcome autoimmune issues. Like I have a sister who had eczema one of them too. After a first combo session, the eczema completely gone. And also knowing that, it was the pull to dive deep into her own things, seeing what was causing it. And that's a long answer for the question. Like I said, I can probably continue to go, though. Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I loved that answer. That answer made me really happy. I actually, I several years ago, I walked into Lazy Acres Market and actually walked up to the girl who works in the supplement section and thanked her for my daughter, because I'd had a similar experience. I had gotten my ex to do a detox, and it was right at the end of the detox that she got pregnant. So I was like, oh, wow, thank you for making my kid. Like,
yeah, that's so beautiful.
Yeah, so I know how that can happen. Although kind of a little bit different, I think it was a psyllium husk detox that we did, but it's similar stuff.
Yeah, we, especially like you said, living in the West and the Western world, so all over the world for the most part, like our food is tainted for the most part.
Yeah.
The air, the water is life. Like, we should be really taking care of the waters and having more consciousness of the water and awareness that we drink. Like, there's so much that goes into it, and plus all the pharmaceuticals, drugs and everything, all the epidemic that's happening. Like, there's so much, and the detox is so beneficial regardless of what type of detox that is. Like, definitely do the research and see, but even something like this psyllium husk, however you say it, like even something like that, like, is very beneficial and can lead to deep healing and lead to life coming in.
There's like 5 different directions I want to go with this.
Yeah.
When you were doing the Qigong meditation at the very beginning, and you did the golden light, spiraling up and coming down and filling her heart, right? So you have experience with doing energy healing. So I'd like to have a little bit of where's the overlap? Where do you see the blur the edges for me a little bit? Energy healing and having a clear energy channel in our body, and how does getting fully detoxed contribute to being able to have a clear energy channel in your body? And where do you see that as far as how that benefits us? I'm not sure if I have the right words for it, but I think you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah. I mean, they are definitely so connected. It was the medicines that actually are the ones that told me, when I came back from the jungle one of the times, to start learning Qigong, and then instantly found my teacher and got deep into medical Qigong and energy healing. And it is definitely so connected. They're so one and the same as well too. And when you break it down to something, simple as like Chinese medicine, each organ system holds a different emotions. And specifically, let's say like the liver and the gallbladder come in with the original emotion, but then from life, from toxins, from diet, we get the acquired emotions, which lead to anger, frustration, and resentments, and that is connected to the liver. And so if you have a lack of boundaries, if you're getting irritated, road rage and all that, you're probably having a blocked liver of some sort, the blocked qi. And so when you do something such as Qigong, energy healing, movement like that, specifically directed at the liver, or something specifically like Kambo directed at the liver to cleanse and clear, then you can open up the path to the original emotion, which is the compassion, the forgiveness, and clear boundaries. And from there, you can reach the heart, which is the love, and each organ system has its own emotions, the blockages that can happen as well through the body. And so when it comes to doing specific medicines, if the channels are blocked, then the qi is not going to be able to flow properly, and we're not going to be able to access all of the messages, all the downloads that we really can. And so when the energy is flowing, the medicines work so much better, and the medicines can help the energy flow as well too. And so they're definitely so connected, and that's why the medicines directed me to that. Because one thing I did notice in the beginning, this being 10, 12 years ago when I started sitting in a lot of ceremonies, unfortunately back in the day, there was no word of breath work. There was no word of integration. and no word of like, physical health and movement and all that. And so I saw that and I knew that's what was needed. And so when I got into the breath work, when I got into Qigong, the movement, I realized how important all those things are, specifically as well, the integration with these things. And so I really saw how important that is. And from when I started putting that into my work, into my own life, that's when everything really started to expand, because my channels were open, my intentions were clear, my mind was clear. I was physically fit and healthy, and I could do the things that I wanted to do, and I could receive the deep messages. And it's sort of just like a beautiful, like upward spiral like that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad that I pitched that one to you, because you hit that out of the park.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was nice. Can you tell us some kind of anecdotal story about working with some of these tribes that you've worked with? Because I think that's an experience that a lot of us haven't had. I'd love to know, just like, what is that like? What did it feel like? Did you feel like an alien? Like, what was the experience?
Mm-hmm. So
to that.
How do you even get connected with these tribes?
Oh, so, like I say, like, there's a spirit, like, creator that guided me. And so at the time when I needed it most, like, I knew, like, my past with the mushrooms were so powerful for me to be the healthy person I was, periodically through my childhood, like meditating and all that. And so I knew I needed it, and I just prayed about it. And then someone like that I was speaking to knew someone and connected me to them. And then as I continued to sit, I started meeting more people that had connections, and I became really close friends with a lot of amazing teachers and facilitators of these medicines, because I kept showing up. And then, they offered me the opportunity to go down and study with the tribes, or like stay with them. And so, yeah, it's really about like who you know. And nowadays it's opening, some tribes are definitely getting more widely known. Their wisdom and knowledge is becoming more mainstream. It's coming to the surface more and more, that we have so many here on these lands, Turtle Island here in the north, like they're all around. And it really does just takes the want, the curiosity, and like the respect to walk in and see how we can connect to them and learn. And so with that, I had the friend that connected me and went down and stayed. And to say like how that experience was, it was so beautiful. And especially something like the jungle, like going down to the Amazon, if you're not even doing any medicines, you're going to come back different, because it's intense. It's intense. There's huge bugs, there's a lot of different things out there. Like, you're going to come back different, even if you're not partaking in medicines. The whole place is medicine, And so, I got to connect with them. There was language barriers, but we got to connect on like that human level, the spirit level. And, music definitely was a big connector, because I was playing music. And so we were sharing songs and playing, and then food. And yeah, it was so beautiful to see, to go back specifically to where the Kambo came from, to be with those sacred waters, be in the jungle and see just the beauties of it. And also I saw, my eyes opened. I feel like traveling should be 100% like part of every person's life, like guarantee, or like no, like negotiation. Like, it should be like a requirement, because you're going to go out and you're going to see how other people live, especially in places where people are much less fortunate than ourselves. Like, you see how they're living. They don't have clean water. Unfortunately, when I was in the jungle, I believe at the time it was cheaper and easier to get Coca-Cola than it was to get clean water. And so, like, it's crazy. And big corporations, we can go into that, but like, it's real, and you see it. And I saw Coke bottles floating down the Amazon River. And, I saw how some people were living. And I also saw how privileged we are over in the West to have a toilet, and not to have to go to the bathroom in the ground. And I got to experience that and be very grateful for it, and grateful for the amenities of, hot clean water and all the beautiful things like that, and for the food. Because when I stayed with the tribes, a lot of them were eating a lot of yucca, and they would get spaghetti from the city and rice.
And we have 6 different kinds of apples at the grocery store to choose
Exactly,
from.
yeah. And they're in the Amazon too, but it's like they're eating, like, and then you're staying there, and then you're eating all carbs and starches, and then, like, you know, a few days of that, they can, you know, not allow things to flow properly. And then so there's a lot of things that are difficult with it, and then a lot of beauties, like seeing the monkeys. Like, I have a story where I, like, saved a monkey. It was so cool. And, like, seeing different animals and helping them when they got stuck on the river, like having to actually get out and being like, oh, there's piranhas. But, like, not where we were. It's just, you know, media making me think like, oh, the river has filled with piranhas, and which wasn't true. But, like, every little thing was like me breaking through this resistance, these barriers. So, like, there was a lot of ego death, a lot of humbling, and a lot of gratitude that I came back with. And a lot of really deep, beautiful connections. Like, I connected with so many beautiful people. They let me stay in their homes. They, like, gave me such good food, us such good food when they had very little. Like, they took me out hunting, which I had the opportunity to do Kambo and then go hunting. And they said, Americans eat a lot of meat. Like, say, like, yeah, we're bringing a lot of meat for you all. So it's like that, you know, all the different things wrapped up in that. And seeing bullet ants walk around, like, oh, if that thing stings me or bites me, that's going to be horrible. And so there's so many different stories, you know, like that. But also just seeing the reality of, like, how beautiful and heart opening all these different tribes are to share their traditions and be there for you when you're real and not taking, you know, when you're there to exchange and to be there in a respectful way. Like, they open their arms to you, and it's so beautiful. Like, I remember being with all these little kids and playing music and doing so many beautiful things like that. And it was definitely such a heartwarming experience. And I feel like it's something that, you know, a lot of us should experience, or at least go into other places like that. Because then we come back with this growth, and we are grateful for what we have and the life that we have. And at the same time, you see what we could be doing better here as well too, you know, because there's so many things that are so much better. Like you said, all the apples here in the store, like, they have so much good food there as well. When I stay with some of the tribes, like, the food they're giving, we're eating meat from animals I didn't even know what they were, but, like, such good food grown from living, like, good soil with all this good chi, and you can eat breads at certain places and feel amazing, you know. And so it's like you come back and be like, oh, we could be doing better. Yeah, there's a long one. Hope that answered.
No, that's great.
Oh.
I think, is there anybody in the audience that has a question? We can open it up to questions from the audience now.
Hi, Scott.
Hey.
Jack.
Hey, Jack.
We talked on the phone.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people struggle with not being able to get off heroin back in Philly. And then Jerry Garcia as well got off it and went back to it. This is a miraculous story how you did this. I'd like some insight where the turning point for you was with being able to come out of that shadow into the light.
Thank you. I appreciate that question. And I love how we spoke before too. So I appreciate your wisdom that you bring too. And
Amen.
Oh, and from that, like, yeah, the turning point for me was I was in a very dark place. Like, I had all these things that you would want being a teen, running around, dealing drugs, doing drugs. I had all these cars and everything like that. And then I had my daughter. I just got her back, actually. And then I ended up getting raided. And then the grandparents were like, they already had her custody of her at the time. Or like, we're taking her to the Philippines. You're never going to see her again. And that was a huge hit. That was the beginning of the end and the end of the beginning. And it really, from there, I spiraled out for another year, to be honest, to where I ended up being like a homeless junkie. And that sucked. And then on top of that, facing 7 years. And so when I went to South Central into this beautiful place called Amity, this halfway home, where 200 lifers, gangbangers, like everyone coming out of prison was staying to retransition back into society. I knew someone who's sort of like an uncle to me, who I never met at the time, but connected from family. It's like, if you want to, change your life, then I will open up a bed here for you. But you have to tell the judge that you need to get clean first before you go in and serve time, or it's done. You're going to join a gang, all that. And so the judge actually obliged to it, allowed me to go there, and I still messed up. I still went to jail in Twin Towers in Los Angeles. And fortunately, Creator put the most interesting and random group of mentors around me, like the full Monty. There was like an Italian mafia dude. There's a Mexican hitman. There was Black Islamic Brotherhood, like brother there, and multiple others. And I remember when I came back from jail, they circled me up and gave it to me. Because they were, as if you don't know, like lifers, usually like the ones that have come out, they get their life together in there. They get it together because that's all they got. And they come out and they do great things. And so people can be rehabilitated. And they were doing good stuff. And they circled me up and talked some sense into me, like short of like physically beating me. Like they were like, it was very close to that too. But they gave it to me and let me know that I can't do this for my daughter. I was a pity party. I was a victim. I kept talking about my daughter, this and that. And I realized I had to do it for myself. I had to make a change to take responsibility to be there for my daughter, even if they never let me see her or however it was going to be. I had to let that go and really do it for myself, to come back to Creator, to be granted this life, to realize how many times I did overdose and I should have died, and know that there is something more for me. And so it was that moment. I knew I had to do it for myself. And luckily I had mentors that have seen way more than me and, really schooled me in a lot of different ways to help me come to that realization of I have to do it for myself and not give up on myself. And from there, learn to love myself, which was very hard to do for many years.
A bit of an ego death.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Yeah. And then once I did that, I was granted the scholarship with Michael Beckwith at Agape. We used to take the bus all through South Central to do that, to do law of attraction, meditation, like schooling. And with the back, like the vision or knowing I'm going to prison, still doing all that. And then working with some other nonprofits, doing really good things with really good people, knowing like in a month I'm going to prison and still being okay with that. Like I got to a point where I was like, I'm cool, I'm going in. But I'm going in like with, connection, with a purpose and knowing I'll make it through. And when I went to court, they saw that. And I had my diploma from Agape, my only diploma I have. I had a diploma from their school and letters from a couple other people. And they saw it and they saw the change in me because I was in there 13 times or so over, 4 years prior. And so they saw the change and they allowed me to just do probation and count time served as what I was going to do. And that was like my new lease and break on life and never looked back.
Congratulations. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you to you as well. That's the question.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm wondering is how to imagine experiencing this. So, I've tried everything pretty much. And so what I'm currently imagining is I took 7 grams of shrooms and I'm coming up really hard and I'm feeling this psychological intensity, but then also just a raw, visceral, physical intensity. And I'm imagining the nausea kind of coming up and up and up, almost to the point where I almost just want to explode kind of thing. And then you finally bark. Mm-hmm. And then you just feel all of that stress just go away. And, I've had other physically difficult experiences, like since we're on a topic, like getting like Narcans where you're just like violently vomiting. I'm imagining something like that. Would you say that it's kind of like that, where it's like it's something so physically violent and intense that you kind of have this almost like perceived near-death experience that just knocks you into thinking and feeling differently? Is that like how I should imagine it, or how would you describe the experience emotionally?
I mean, I would definitely say you're on the right track. And like the thing I will offer you is just like throw it all away and not have any expectation. And with it not being a psychedelic, it's not like you're not gonna have the inner workings and like this, like the thing from the mushrooms like that. Though what you did describe as like getting to that point where it's all rising and then bursting and like feeling instantly better, that definitely is part of it as well too. Like it's very unique. Like there's not much that I was able to compare to, at all. Is very unique in its own way. That's why it's like such a beautiful medicine. It's so unique. And you feel it in the heart. Then I said, like, you have like the pounding, like the pressure of in your head, the heat in the ears. And then you're going to feel usually like really flushed. Like you might feel really hot and like uncomfortable, but then sometimes it can be really beautiful too. And then around that point, like 5 minutes into it, when it is released and everything, that's when you feel not the greatest. You feel very heavy, and then like sometimes you sort of just want to lie down. Like you feel like just this energy. So everything's flushing to the surface. All the emotions, all the toxins, everything you've been avoiding is like coming to the surface. And then, yes, you pop, you get it out, and then you do feel that gratitude that like instantly, though it's continuing. And then you're going through the process. And then eventually, once you get it out, like it's done much quicker than you think. And usually you just have this sense of just like pure calm, and like there's like can be vibrating, and like your voice in the head for like the first time and ever can like just not be talking. And it can really bring you to that beautiful space. And obviously everyone's journey is different. Every time you do this medicine, it is different. So can it be more along the lines of that? Usually it's not always the purge through the top. Sometimes it's down south. Sometimes there is no physical like purge of the vomit. Sometimes it is like an energetic purge. Sometimes you're profusely sweating and it's just going to go out the bottom end later. And I've had many ceremonies where it was like one of the most blissful moments that I can recall. Like I felt like just like a monk sitting there and vibrating, connected to everything, but like not in a psychedelic way, but very psychedelic too. It's very interesting. And so that's like a wide array of how it can feel. And I like to say, like, usually, when you get to the point where you're like, why did I do this? Which most people get to that point, then you're already like halfway through, and then you start to come down, and then you laugh at yourself like, oh, that wasn't that bad, And then granted, every once in a while it is that bad, but most of the time it's not, And it's it can be a very brief and very deep and beautiful experience. And like I have been trained to make my ceremonies very safe first and foremost, but fun, beautiful. I play music. It's a very good environment. Like we have everything set. Like it's a very beautiful experience where people can receive like their intention from like the breath work I do in the beginning, different than the one I did today. Or I do a hape tobacco medicine, and sometimes people get the most beautiful intention from that. Sometimes people get their intentions from the sharing circle. So we do all these things before we do the combo, and then you go through the combo. And yeah, people tend to have a really beautiful experience, though it can be intense, though that's not the thing that always brings people back. Sometimes it can be very intense, and it is the days that follow that bring people back. Because if I ask people like in the moment, like, hey, you're going to come back next week, like right after, a lot of them are like, no, like they don't say anything. They don't they don't want to think about that. Though the days that follow that like time of clarity, the time of peace, like I didn't get into like the external purging, like things tend to like move out of your way, like in a crazy way. Like sometimes relationships will just blow up in your face and then people will leave, like, and relationships will end. You're like, why did that happen? You know, one of my friends used to say it's the Ganesha of medicines. It's clearing the path. And that will happen at work. That'll happen at different things in a lot of random ways, but everything's so connected. And you'll tend to see, like, you know, 11:11, you'll see all these synchronicities. You'll see frogs everywhere all of a sudden. And like, you really notice like this beautiful cloud nine you're on for the most part that week after. And then that's when people are like, let me go back, you know.
So the afterglow lasts about 7 days, you said?
Around, like, give or take. Yeah. But for the most people, yes. Like the afterglow is very present for that week, but I've seen people ride that wave, myself included, for like months, where like everything is just flowing and happening for them in such a beautiful way. And then people tend to like do it in a few ways. There's like the reset, we like to say, that the Indigenous, myself, say, like 3 sessions within this lunar cycle. That's like the best way to go deeper. That's what I did my first time, but I did it like back to back in like less than a week, you know. And so you go deeper and deeper because you can only get to the surface stuff in the beginning. We have so much, you can't get to the core issue root most of the time. Have I seen it? Yes. Though usually people continue to go back and back a few times, and then the like way most people do it is like, let me come in and get my reset. You know, spring is obviously the best, but some people come and do it every season. Sometimes people just come and do a reset once a year. And yeah, it's like, you know, depends on what you're really feeling called to. But like, there's a real cool way to walk through it. And each time for me tends to take you deeper, and it becomes more and more profound. Like the day is after. Like instantly you can notice a shift. And especially when you continue to work with it. That's why a lot of people continue to work with it. Like I said, it's some will call it an inoculation, a reset. So I'm like, okay, this is how I'm keeping myself healthy. So this is like, I might not really want to do it, but I know I got to do this, you know, every season or at least 3 times a year to stay healthy.
The way that you use it kind of, it reminds me of like the way that I've been doing the hot yoga. It's like torture, but then at the same time, it's like, I get good at it and I kind of go into it, and I can really go like, oh no, I'll go into that pain, into that stress, and really tap into what it's trying to do for me.
Oh yeah. Because yeah, we all live just in this society all over. Like, we're just all so comfortable, and like, that's not how we get growth. Like, we get growth when things are uncomfortable, when we have to do the difficult things. That's how we really grow. And this is definitely along those lines. I like to say, like, it's like because we do retreats and men's retreats, and we do ice bath and cold plunge as well. And it's like, this is like a cold plunge. It's like, I love the cold plunge, but I also hate it. You know, it's like, I don't ever like wake up, like go up to it like so excited. Sometimes if it's nice and sunny and it's hot out, but like most of the time, you know, if it's snowing or cold, you're like, you don't want to do the ice bath, though you learn how to like not listen to the resistance and the voices trying to get you and convince you not to do it. You know, like how to put that aside and be like, no, like you said, I'm going in. I'm going to sit in it and breathe for 2 minutes, and I'm going to feel so good after. And that's like similar to how Kambo can be sometimes. It's like, yeah.
How would you compare the integration of Kambo compared to traditional psychedelics? Because Kambo is kind of indirectly psychoactive through activating your own body's, you know, endogenous compounds. So do you have to put in more effort because it's not directly psychological, or maybe you have to put in less effort because it's doing all the work on its own just by being a physical experience? Yeah, how would you compare it?
Yeah, so like integration is definitely key, and it's always like a difficult word to define and to like tell someone how to do it. And once you really start like the path, like it's just your daily life, so you don't have to think too much on it. And so Kambo, it is definitely important to integrate, because it's like you come and you show up and do this ceremony, and if it's your first few times, it's a little challenging, and then like you feel good and like go straight back to drinking or straight back to like eating McDonald's. You know, it's like you're wasting a lot of that. You're still getting the benefits, but you know, you're not integrating that. And so the integration, the way I've been taught from the Yawanawa tribe, they'll say like a week of no sex, no red meat, no tobacco, and no sugars. And that's like a strict one that they go by. And for me, they say like, if you do 2 sessions, that's 2 weeks, 3 sessions, a whole month. And I did 3 sessions in 3 days with them. And I had, for them, the sugars also implied fruit. And so I had to be in Brazil with no fruit for like the whole month. It's the best fruit like on on the world. It's so good. And that was difficult, but that's part of the integration. So the integration can be that. And, it's just showing up. And I like to say it's like doing those things, like I said, like taking action and doing what you need to be doing. That's integration. It's taking time for yourself. I tell men and women to, take a bath when you go home, Epsom salt, some baking soda, through this week, put some lavender, some flowers, roses in it. Take that time, be in nature more, be conscious of your like usage on the phone, of people you're around, conversations you're having, because that is all part of the integration, just to be more mindful. And so it's equally as important, all of the medicines as well. Sometimes other medicines could be a little bit more difficult. And sometimes I found people have a little difficult time integrating with the Kambo as well. Though, yeah, it definitely gets easier as you go and becomes part of your life, though it is very, very important.
Yeah. As you were expanding, you kind of answered what I was kind of trying to get to, which was, what is the nature of this experience? Kind of like, what are you integrating? And it sounds like you're having this really physically intense experience where the lesson becomes this physical experience where it's like, someone's addicted to heroin, and then all of a sudden you just feel that stress gone, or that addiction gone for a moment, or a craving gone for a moment, or the suicidal person, they don't want to kill themselves for a moment, then that's the lesson. And then that seems like that's what they're kind of integrating. So your body goes back to normal. Yeah. And you remember what that experience was like.
100%. That's such a good way to put it.
Yeah. Like, so it's similar, but
yeah,
physical.
Mm-hmm.
Or I would personally call it endogenously psychedelic.
Yeah, I haven't heard that before, but that makes it's like you're activating the DMT and different things like breath work within yourself. And so you are activating those states. And yeah, like it definitely is very important. And I see that a lot with people that do the Kambo and then the Bufo, or the other medicines. Like they definitely have that moment of clarity. They have the moment of touching back into source, into creator, into that unified field, the love, like feeling that essence. And then, yes, the integration can get difficult because we go back, unfortunately, in some aspects, in some cases, we go back to the same environment. And so the many times I tried to get clean and sober, it's very difficult, almost impossible in the same environment. And so, when you go back home to work, some are still there's nothing you can do about it. And so old patterns, submerge or reemerge, and old things start to come up. And then it's but yeah, you can tap back into that memory of that feeling that love, that you experienced with these medicines. And that very much can be the driver to get you to continue, because it's I took a little bit of that with me, and I can really tune into that anytime I want, even though it might be difficult. I can tune into that love, and I can feel it and make it through whatever I'm feeling, because I know something that beautiful is out there.
It helps you see the other side and helps you go over that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I believe you did a combo on my friend Maxwell, by the way. But
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome.
Usually we wrap these things up by doing a little rapid fire.
Oh yeah.
Rapid fire question. It is 8 o'clock, so I'm not going to do too many of them.
Okay.
And so here the idea is keep your answer short. I mean, you can say as much say as much as you want, but the idea is to keep your answer short.
Yeah.
So, do you see yourself doing this for the rest of your life?
Yes, I would do this for the rest of my life. To what extent, I don't know. I have other things I want to create, but yes, I will.
And you just answered my question, because I was going to say, will you come to 216 and do a ceremony here?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Be my honor.
What was your childhood like?
My childhood was good. It was good. Nothing too out of the norm. My generation spent a lot of time outside, riding bikes, coming home when the lights turned on, product of pop culture and all that.
Two parents?
Two parents. Yeah, two parents.
Yeah.
And it was good, and fair share of just different things that have happened, like I mentioned with my foot, and traumatic injury and stuff like that. But
how old were you? Physical trauma like that?
I was 3.
You were 3.
Yeah.
Oh wow, you were 3 when that happened.
Yeah, I was 3, and my foot was cut off, almost completely, just hanging on by skin. And luckily, my dad, he was a paramedic. He was the one who was mowing the lawn. But He was paramedic as well too.
Incredible.
Yeah, and so yeah.
Grew up religious?
No, actually not. I know my family, others were, but my dad and mom never were or like really forced anything on me. And I noticed that went like both directions. Like obviously with my drug abuse and addiction, like that, like I don't know if like I had more of a connection to religion, that wouldn't have happened, but I also know it was meant to happen, and I sought out spirituality and God from a very young age, as far as reading the Bible, getting the first one very, very into Buddhism when I was around like 15 or so as well, and then learning Taoism and things like that. So it got me to get to a place where I was able to seek God and spirituality. And so, yeah, I feel like it was for a reason.
So what's your understanding of, do we live in a simulation, and what's your understanding of that?
So a simulation, I mean, I think that, I believe we live in like a holographic universe, and I feel like it partially is a simulation. And, are we all connected to things like in the Matrix? No, I feel like we all consciously play a part in creating this world. And that's why you see things like Simpsons predicting things, but also I think it's because so much of us watch it and create it. And so it's a mixture of it. I really believe that, yeah, like quantum physics and things like that, like this isn't actually solid, and we can create and do way more than what we've been led to believe. And I believe that's for a reason, So yes, it's a yes and no, yeah.
Depending on how you talk.
Yeah.
So if you could do Kambo with anybody, alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh, wow. I remember you asking that earlier. I was like, yeah, psychedelics. So Kambo is a little different, but still, it'd be the same question or same answer. So I would say I would go to Bob Marley. And so, like I'm always just so intrigued, and like I even actually know some of like his lineage. Have met and like conversed with some of his grandchildren, things like that, and like I have always been into his music and respect him, though I feel like he had a very beautiful deep grasp from Rastafarianism and the Bible and of the world and all the wisdom that he carried, but also knowing his view, and I feel like he was probably one of the most influential artists of our time. And so, I would be probably talking his head off and asking him all these questions while doing Kambo at the same time, but it would be him.
That was such an authentic answer. We're going to end on that.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.